Hi, and welcome to our first pedal review for Pickleplus. And it wouldn't be our first review if we didn't review what's probably one of the most popular pedals in the world right now, and that is the Selkirk Boomstik. So this is what it looks like. Nice posh leather bag. As you can tell, it's quite well used. I've been using this a lot to get a really good review for you guys. This is the Selkirk Boomstik. So the way we approach our review in every episode is that we look at 3 core principles. Number 1, how easy it is to use the pedal to get the ball over the net. Number 2, how easy it is for you to keep staying in the rallies so that your opponent makes a mistake, survivability. And number 3, under pressure, whether you're able to pull off certain shots that were deemed to be risky or riskier on the day that you're playing. Also, we tailored this review very much for Asian players so that the audience is a lot more targeted. A lot of our audience comes from Asia. And so let's get right into it. So I'll start with the general aesthetics of the pedal. Nice pedal. I like the colors. I like the way it feels. I like how it looks. I like how it swings in my hand. But that's really not what we're here about. So let's go right into principle 1. And that's how easy it is to get the ball over the net. So in playing with this pedal, I realized that there is quite a lot of pop. And what it means for those who are watching a pedal review for the first time, is that when you strike the ball, it tends to give you a lot without you having to put much effort into it. And so for that, being able to drop a shot, being able to hit a simple drive, you are able to get this ball quite easily over the net, even if your technique is not perfect. We have reviewed other pedals, or we will be reviewing other pedals, where you do need to have a pretty good technique before the ball gives you a very generous clearance over the net. This, however, is very forgiving for most players. Now let's go to number 2. And number 2 is, how well can you survive in a point so that your opponent gets to make the mistake first, not necessarily you making the winner. Now, because this pedal gives you quite a lot and you're allowed, the ball generally goes over the net quite often, there is a bit of a downside because it is very poppy. Sometimes you tend to overswing, sometimes you tend to give it a little bit too much, and the ball tends to sail out. So if you're playing with this pedal, you may need to adjust a little bit, because if you take a big swing, if you're a tennis player, you take a huge swing like me, sometimes I did find that the ball would miss the line by inches or sometimes by a few feet. So it really depends on how you want to play with this. I generally like using this pedal for doubles. I think it's great when I get to control the dings because a lot of the stuff is done by the pedal. I found that my ding consistency has gone up with this. A lot less arm work and a lot more pop coming off the pedal. Again, it all depends on your technique. But in survivability, I would probably say that given the circumstances in today's game, sometimes you will tend to overstrike the ball with this and the ball may go out. Now let's go to the third one, which is the most important. When you're under pressure, how well can you defend with this pedal? Or if you are going to pull off a risky shot, how well you're going to be able to do it. I generally don't like to review ATPs and ernies because I think that's a pretty high skill level and it's not that pedal dependent. I think that when you're under pressure on the move and you're striking the ball, especially in singles, this pedal tends to lack a little bit of that control. So a lot of times I played singles when I've used other pedals that are a bit slightly more control oriented. I'm able to run and swing. Again, disclaimer, I used to play tennis, and when I run and swing, I get to put that little bit more spin. I get to put a little bit more into the ball with the shot not going out. With this, however, when I run and when I strike the ball, when I'm moving and I try to run and I try to drop, this tends to give a little bit too much. I still like it though, and it's really quite addictive, I think, because the sound is really nice. I really do like pedals that give a lot of pop. But under pressure, I think this is maybe at best a 3 out of 5 stars. And so, I compiled some playing footage so that you can look at me using the Selkirk pedal. I generally try to play somewhere of a middle ground game. I don't go all out attack. I do try to keep the ball I do try to drop. I do try to dink a little bit more these days. It does most of it, but there are some areas that I think if Selkirk is listening to this, you probably could tweak in your next version, where players under pressure could probably use a little bit more control. I'm not sure if that's possible given the technology of the pedals these days with foam. But yeah, generally pretty solid pedal, and I'm glad that we're being able to review this in our first pedal review at Pickleplus TV. And just a disclaimer, we don't receive any free pedals. We buy all our pedals to review. As you can tell, I actually am using this for my next tournament in APP Kuala Lumpur. See you again next time. And if you are interested in buying the Boomstik, the Selkirk Boomstik, we do carry it on Pickleplus.tv as well as on our upcoming app that's really exciting. Simply use the discount code Pickleplus15 and you'll get a discount off your next purchase. See you next time.